Hello again. So, here we are on the next episode of our play guide and our playthrough of Dark Souls 1. I'm going to go ahead and apologize. There's a little bit of a mix-up here and a problem that we had to overcome. Last time I had shot about 2 hours of footage. We had gone through and killed about 3 more of the game's bosses. But when I uploaded the footage to YouTube, something seems to have gone wrong, and it only actually uploaded about 30 seconds worth of the recording. So I ended up having a 2-hour gap in the playthrough. So I consider that unacceptable. So we've gone ahead and we created another character, basically doing the same things. Boss for boss, what we've already uploaded is covered here. So this character's name is now Walkthrough 2, so as to accommodate. We still got the 40 dex, we still got the 27 vitality. I'm probably short on endurance, but I didn't want to just power level to wherever he was, or guess, or be high, or just wrong. So I stopped when I finished killing off Gwendolyn, which is where the last episode had ended. So that way we could start with our first Lord of Cinder going through the Catacombs. So we will do that. There is also one other change that I did accidentally on this character that I hadn't done on the playthrough, which is I've already picked up in the key item section the Crest of Artorias. Now this is a 20,000 soul item that you can buy from the blacksmith, Andre. You'll need it for one of the bosses that we'll kill later. So I may have time to do that in this video. If not, it will be in the next one. But either way, I want to go ahead and mention it. Yes, that part was taken care of, and I didn't realize fully that I had not yet done that on the play guide. So the Crest of Artorias, like I said, 20,000 souls. You can buy it from Andre, and we're going to need it to access one of the game's areas to kill a very key boss. So we'll cover that more when we get to it. Additionally, I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. I have a cold, so I'm going to apologize for any of the stuttering or sniffling that you might hear throughout the audio. I apologize. I'm going to try my absolute best, but it's a little difficult when you're having trouble breathing. So it's that time of year. This is being shot and hopefully uploaded here in December. So here in Florida, we're having fluctuating weather of hot and cold and hot and cold. So unfortunately, my immune system's just struggling to keep up. Either way, with that being said, let's continue on with the game. So we had just finished killing Ornstein and Smaug. We covered Gwendolyn. We got the Lord Vessel, so now we can warp. Which I don't know if I showcased it or clearly pointed it out, but the warp is accessed at a bonfire, and it's any bonfire really in the world. The only difference being there's a bonfire that you can warp to, Painted World of Ariamis, but you can't warp from. You have to actually run all the way through the Painted World and drop off the ledge at the end in order to return back to this plane. So, a little different there, but not too bad, not too difficult. Especially at this point, we only go to the Painted World in order to soul farm. So, we can pick any of these bonfires that we have been to, and these are the key ones for the area. So, our next area, now that we have the Lord Vessel, we've unlocked access to the Great Souls. We're going to now progress through the Catacombs. We're picking that one first because we want to take advantage of gaining the Rite of Kindling, so that way we can push bonfires 2 steps higher, bring their Estus count to 20. in certain instances. So we're going to start doing that, and we'll just see how this goes. So in order to get to the catacombs, we need to progress through here, past Framped, and down this path. Now, one thing to bear in mind, the skeletons here, especially early game, they easily can kill you. Watch the souls that you get from these enemies. If you get souls, that's a surefire way of telling you that you actually killed the skeleton. Because if you don't get souls, it's not dead. General rule of thumb. There's the Zweihander. So we want to progress down this path here on the side. This will bring us into the catacombs. Now once you start down this path, you're going to need to be a little careful, because skeletons from here on out are not going to die as easily. The skeletons are linked to a necromancer in the immediate area. You have to find and kill the necromancer so that the skeletons will actually die. Also in this first dark cavern here, there's going to be some pink floating skulls. You can see them here. If you get close to them, you can hear the explosion going off in the background. I'll showcase it here. And if that hits you, it hurts a lot. So I want to progress down, wrap around to the side here, and wrap around to the side again. Because the first area necromancer is right here. Ouch. So what if any skeletons followed us? Doesn't look like it. So we'll light the bonfire and rest at it. Convenient that there's a bonfire right here. We also need to activate this mechanism. So that we can progress. So now with the necromancer for this area dead, you can see that the skeletons are dying and indeed dropping souls for us. Oops. Trying to kill him just to showcase. Notice I didn't get souls. So, oops. It's a great way to signify. This guy needs to die. And now we can start getting souls from our skeleton kills. Incidentally, you do need to be a little careful when fighting the skeletons. They are perfectly capable of parrying you. They are also capable of performing backstabs. Like that. So, watch your health accordingly. And generally it's a good idea to progress through this area a little slowly, unless you know exactly where you're going. Just so that way you're not going to get overrun by the skeletons. So with that, we have killed the skeletons in that area. We've progressed here. I'm going to sprint here because these skeletons are also controlled by a necromancer. And I won't actually be able to kill them. I'm going to run to the back and get the item. Usually it's just to guarantee that I get far enough. Because what all I need to do is activate that mechanism. You can see the bridge flip over there. Gotta be careful, there's a pink skull there. Need to heal up. You saw the statue stabbed me there, that's a fun little trap. I'm going to dodge off to the side here and advance across. Here on the side. Get to the bonfire. Now this bonfire would have normally been considered critical or tactical. As you saw, I can also raise the shield to block through that. I'm going to advance a little over here. That bonfire used to be the most tactical choice, because there wasn't a bonfire for Vamos. But, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to dodge off that. Not paying attention. There used to not be a bonfire by the blacksmith Vamos. Or Famos, however you want to say his name. But now there is, meaning that bonfire is a little less critical now. Don't have to worry about that one as much. So here we're just going to go off the side, item. Before we do that, push in the mechanism. Just need to get around him. And as you can see, we've now wrapped back around. We've opened up access to this side. So we can do a little more exploring here. Bum bum bada bada bum. Oh, there's our necromancer friend. Oh. Having a little bit of trouble with the overhead there. But at least now the skeletons are no longer bound to that necromancer. Which is critical for here. Now, this one you need to be careful, because you can't quite see it. There's a tiny spot barely glowing down there. So, leap of faith. Leap of faith. Once more with feeling. That skeleton stayed dead. That necromancer also stayed dead. So, skipping the cutscene, we can light the bonfire, and this is indeed the bonfire with Vamos. So I will go ahead, reverse hollowing, punch my microphone there a little bit. Go ahead and double check. 23,000. Do we have it? Maybe. More than likely, no. Yeah, so I'm not going to try. There's no way the others are 10,000. However, we can talk to Vamos. And his audio is pretty rough. Not that I'm one to talk. So let's see if we can get something going. So we could get our Dragon King Great Axe upgraded if we were using that for soul farming. And he doesn't sell large Titanite shards. As you can see here, I kind of angered and killed the giant. Apologies to Mr. Giant Blacksmith. That's also a key difference between this playthrough and the last. Unfortunately, it was purely accidental, but roll with the punches. So, let's go ahead and let's check into reinforcing our armor a little. I know I don't have any regular Titanite, but I do have some twinkling. So I'm curious. I'll just wait till later for that. Should be okay. But with our 3,000 souls that are left, let's pick up some homeward bones. So there we go. Here, we need to be careful. This area that we're about to walk into is rife with more of the wheel skeletons. So, very easy to get overwhelmed. Oh, okay. And when I mean rife, I mean I don't honestly know how many there are. There's at least 6 I've seen. There goes number 7. So I've killed 7, but I don't see any more. Here we've got a necromancer somewhere. Looks like he's behind me. Ow. Oh. Sometimes the Black Knight likes to come to play. This time he came to play. Please die so I can focus. Get some backstab goodness in. Perfect. Okay. Somebody dropped something. Oh good, a skull lantern. You definitely want to get one of those. I think you have a guaranteed drop if you kill all of the I want to say pyromancers. I did that last time too. All of the necromancers in the area. Because otherwise you're going to do the next area, Tomb of the Giants. And you won't have an ability. Oop. You focus on healing for a second. You won't actually have the ability to see. So, it'll fall through there so I can pick up this item. Yeah, we had to do that on the last run. It was very, very scary, to put it mildly. All those dead Pinwheel skeletons. Okay, fog gate, but it's okay. You don't actually enter the boss fight until you fall down here into what looks like a giant tomb. Now, you are going to fall, so if you have the sorcery or miracle, whatever it is, of fall control, you won't take damage from this fall. That's the biggest reason why I haven't healed up yet. I don't have that, so I'm going to take damage when we land, and then I'm going to proceed to Estus. He summons a few clones. Keep your eyes on him. Okay. Blah blah blah. Smack him a bunch. He'll move around. So that was a clone. That wasn't. And now he's dead. So, not a terribly hard boss. It's usually why most people will come that are trying to speed run it, if you will, or trying to do bonus strats. They'll come and kill him early on to get that Rite of Kindling. We just picked up a fantastic mask. There's 3 options you could get if you do get one. I don't know if you're always guaranteed. But we got the Mask of the Child. Now, the Mask of the Child, it's not very defensive, but its special bonus here at the end is this mask belonging to the naive child slightly raises stamina recovery speed. So, plus you get a fantastic derpy face. See if we can zoom in. Oh, it's lovely. So there's 3 options. There's the Mask of the Father, the Mask of the Mother, the Mask of the Child. The Mask of the Child is my personal favorite. I know there's a build that's pretty famous on the internet known as Giant Dad, which uses the Mask of the Father. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to switch out our shield. In our second hand, we're going to put in the Skull Lantern. Once we switch to it, now to activate it, to activate it, you're going to use it like you're going to block with your shield. And it'll use as a light source. You just have to remember, you're not actually holding a shield. So, muscle memory is a very scary thing. But now at least we have a light source. This is the trade-off for this area. We're basically going without a shield. So, if you're uncomfortable doing so, this could be new territory for you. We are going to have to fight some pretty potent enemies. There is another option for a light source. But you have to get through this area first or have another player drop it for you. If you complete Solaire's questline in a positive way, you can get a helmet that will have a permanent shining effect. So as you can see here, we've got some skeleton guys we're going to have to take care of. Oops. Make sure we don't miss anything. And here we're going to slide down. Over here you can see another enemy. I'm going to go ahead and heal up. Starting to get low on Estus. Generally that's the attack that if you can bait it, you can have an easier time killing them. We're going to need to slide down here again. And for now, just forego those two guys. Because I want to hit this ladder. Get to this bonfire. We do need to rest at it. We'll go ahead and kindle. And for this one, I'm just going to keep it where it is at 10. This is not a tactical bonfire by any means. We are close to level up, so let's take care of that. Not sure how many that is. Oh, it's just 400. So that should be good enough for a level up. Let's get some extra endurance. We either had 24 or 25. I don't remember what the cutoff was exactly there. So, path of, confirmation, I'll go to 25. It's a little difficult since now I'm wearing the Ring of Favor and Protection. So, hidden path here, you typically would expose it on the other side, but that's what this message was talking about. Oops. I'm going to go up this path here first. Skeletons. If you want to fight them, you can. I'm going to just progress up. Get shot a bunch, have a giant arrow through my leg. You can see some more eyes here. So, if there are just 2 of them, it's possible. I think there's only 2 in this case. So we'll just go ahead and drop. Turn around to get this item. Okay. Incidentally, this path is if you decided to go ahead and come down here all the way before you needed to. This is how you can get back up to the tomb. So let's drop down here. We've done that side. So now, let's make sure we do slowly. Let's drop down to the side here. Get some extra souls. And once more, I'm going to two-hand, but while we drop, Nope, didn't hit him. So I'll drop in the hole now. I don't actually know if he can come in the hole, but let's see. Doesn't look like the skeleton can. So that's interesting. I never tried. Oh, no, he can. That's cool. Okay. One skeleton down. There are 4 skeletons in this room. Generally, you can either, 2 strats here, you can either take the archery path and go ahead and snipe them down with your bow. You can use some spells, snipe them down with that. You could theoretically drop down here and fight. In my experience, the minute I drop down, all of the enemies start trying to kill me. So, your mileage may vary on that. I never had success with this. Case in point. But I did want to illustrate, they are highly aggressive once you enter that room. So we do have to go back, because there is a treasure there we are interested in getting. Let's drop down. At the far end of the room you can see it. I don't actually know where our souls went. Oh, there they are. At the end of the room there, that is a one of the coals. So we're just gonna do the mad sprint. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Get there, pick it up. Oh, it's an ember. And completely get owned. So we didn't quite get to keep our souls. We could try and fight for them if we want. In my opinion, it's just 3,000 souls. It's not worth the time. More importantly, we got the ember. That particular ember will allow you to gain access to some of the more, I think the divine weapons. Ooh, okay, wrong menu. So we can actually start getting our divine weapons into a higher divine damage, which would be useful against the next boss here. So here's Patches. Let's give him a chat and see what he has to say.
Good day. You look reasonably sane. What are you doing in the catacombs? Are you a cleric or something?
Nah, man, we're not cleric.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I'd have no qualms telling you. There's a fine stash of treasure right down that hole. I found it first, but, well, we're friends now. So I'll split it with you. In any case, have a look. It'll shimmer you blind. This is what I do, my friend. The trinkets I'll be stripping off your corpse, that's the real treasure.
It's a rather charming fellow. And there's another skull lantern. So if you hadn't actually picked one up yet, that's where you can go to get your next, or get a skull lantern, which is what we had to do the first time I played through this area. So, as you notice, that NPC there, she is by herself now, and her companions have now gone a little crazy. So we will have to actually, unfortunately, kill them. because they're crazy. This is definitely a time where having the katana with its thrust is very helpful, because we're having to blind thrust.
You banished those two hollows, did you? It pains me to think of the trouble my failings have caused. I am certain that both Vince and Nico are grateful to you. Thank you so very much. Here, these... I am certain that... Thank you.
So, and if you leave her here, she will continue on her quest line, and I'm sure positive things will come out of her little path. I mean, it's not like her best friends are now dead. She's stuck in the catacombs all by herself. I'm sure it'll all end well. So, you could fight the bone towers if you like. For now, I'm just going to progress around them. Up ahead here, we've got some more of those bone towers. I'm going to heal up before we get there. This one, unfortunately, is blocking our way. They don't have a lot of health, but unfortunately, if they hit you, it hurts a lot. So, take care of them slowly. Then progress on up. And now we're going to work our way back around. Like I said, this is normally where you would have found that hidden wall. There's our bonfire. No need to rest at it for now. We're going to have a word with Patches.
Oh, you. Well, let's just calm down. Talk about things. I did you wrong, but I didn't mean it. These temptations, they can, well, overcome me. You know what I mean, don't you? Please, forgive me. You and me, we're jolly undead outcasts, aren't we?
And just go ahead and say it's alright.
A second chance. Wonderful. I had a feeling you'd understand. I did. But, if I were in your shoes, who knows what I'd have done. But now we're friends again, eh?
So, the reason we actually say we do want to forgive him there is now, after this encounter, he's going to head back to Firelink Shrine and he'll become a merchant for us. So, fantastic services. Now we're going to meet one of the most terrifying enemies of this game. As you can see here, we've got the skeleton dogs. Those skeleton dogs will easily destroy you given the chance. Sorry, I just noticed the enemy look over there and it looked really weird for some reason in the shadows. Anyway, the skeleton dogs. So, by and large, if you see them, you can fight them if you want. I generally will just completely avoid them. They're huge bodies, and the small paths that we're going to be crossing here, generally they'll just fall to their death. So you can take them on. They're highly aggressive. They hurt like crazy if they hit you. So remember, especially in this case, we're holding a skull. We're not holding a shield. It's not going to defend. So proceed at your own, discretion. But I find it easier just to run around. Let them worry about it. because there's quite a bit of them, actually. Oh, okay. Get this item. Oh. Haha. We'll fall to our deaths. Between a black knight and a skeleton dog, just where everyone wants to be. That's okay. Now that we got the effigy shield, we won't have to take that path anymore. Ouch. Classic example of what I meant by they can really hurt. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna pick this one up. And as you saw, it's gonna summon a bunch of things to try and kill us. We're gonna have to do a flying leap here and hope for the best. As you can see, the column is in the way. So hopefully the platforming works. Because that will lead us to this bonfire, which we need to rest at before something tries to kill us. Perfect. So this is the tactical bonfire for the area. We will go ahead. We need 3 kindlings plus 1 humanity so that we can regain our human form. So this is the part where if you had any reserve humanities, you're quickly going to burn through them. So there's 10. $15. And 20. Now the cool thing to keep in mind, every bonfire that we kindle, the kindlings are going to carry forward. So if we do decide to replay the game with New Game Plus or onward, we can still keep our 20 Estus every time that we rest at this bonfire. So, definite food for thought as we try to be a little more tactical in how we approach those, but if you find yourself with a surplus, it's not a bad idea to just go ahead in some of your either least favorite areas or just going nuts and getting them all set to 20. It's up to you. So with that, we are now going to start working our way towards the next area. The final stretch before the boss. So let's wrap down. Item over here we want, in case you're going the divine route. There's another dog there, but we don't care. Go down, down, drop here. You can use the ladder, but you don't take fall damage. And once you clear that, we don't need our skull lantern anymore. So we'll switch back to our shield. Now, we are in human form. It is only important for this area, for this little stretch of land right here. Because as we get closer towards that little cave up ahead, we are going to have an NPC invasion. And hopefully we can kill him. Sometimes he doesn't quite come until we go a little closer. So, Paladin Leroy. Oh, okay. Don't fall off, though. That phantom range on that spell seems to catch me every time. Come on, pull out your hammer. Want to bait your attack. Plop. Ah. Whoop. Woohoo. Bait the attack. Bait the attack. Thrust. He's going to try for a heal. There we go. So Paladin Leroy was vanquished. We get all his gear. We get a ton of souls. And I don't have it on my bar, so let's go ahead and put it on so that we can homeward bone. So let's rest up. Need just under 2,000 souls. But we've got some serious souls in our collection now. So we might be able to swing 2 level ups. Yep. So that's going to raise to 22. Like I said, I'm going to take endurance to 25 because I'm a little uncertain with the Ring of Favor and Protection. I think it is. Yes, which increases our stamina and equip load. I'm uncertain exactly where our normal stamina threshold would be at, but we do want to get it so that we're sitting at least on 120 stamina. I want it flat natural without the ring bonus. That way we ensure that we're at a healthy, good, solid level. And then we can start leveling up strength. And strength is solely so that we can eventually start using some of the other weapons, which is useful primarily for soul farming. It's not strictly necessary otherwise. So we're about to get into the final stretch before the boss, like I said. Oh. Thank you very much. The only thing to watch out for here, you're going to have some bone towers. You can run around the first 2. The third one, you honestly can just wait in front of. It will go down. Run past these 2 guys, because who cares? This area, there's going to be some more of the pinwheels. So just watch for their magic attacks. There's some good items sprinkled throughout the area. Ooh. Definitely don't want to jump straight in front of them. You could kill them, or you could just dash around them. It's up to you. This hole is important. It has a white titanite slab, in case you're going the divine weapon route. Jump on a pinwheel face. Ouch. Actually pretty close to death now. So we'll dodge through here, go on in. Once again, and for the second time on this run, I need to specify, If you have fall control, which I don't, this plunge here is going to hurt us. I am going to have to heal after I land. This is Gravelord Nito. This is going to be the first of the great souls that we will have to find. Nito has a couple key attacks. First off, if you hear a scream, there's about to be a red knife or sword attack coming straight up from the ground underneath you. If your timing is spot on, you can dodge it. There's also sweeping. He has basically a giant sword for a hand. There's a sweeping arc attack he will do. It has very wide range, hurts a lot. There's also a miasma-like void. I truly don't know what type of property it has. It's just damaging, so it doesn't seem to be based on anything else. That hurts a lot as well. There is one attack that you want to see. He will highly telegraph, and I will showcase what I'm looking for in that attack when he does it. Also, there's a black cloak that he is wearing. It's glowing with, I truly don't know. I like to think it's just like a soul shield of sorts. His black cloak will take no damage. You have to physically strike his body. So, whether he's a creature of the void or not, I'm not entirely certain what's causing that effect. But basically, gameplay mechanic-wise, you're not actually hitting him, so it doesn't count as damage. So you need to strike the skeleton part of him for it to actually do damage. So, with that being said, one final caution before we jump in the room: stay near the area where you land. There are going to be skeletons coming after you. If you venture further into the room, the skeletons go from the small variety into the much larger kind. So, if you have a divine weapon, you can kill them. There is no necromancer in this room that I am aware of, so you have to just deal with the skeletons. If you have a divine weapon, you can kill them, and that kind of simplifies the fight. In my case, since we don't have a divine weapon, we're just going to have to deal with the skeletons. So, since that is our only answer, here we go. Let's see how it works. Glad we had that Estus ready. There's the skeleton number one. Ouch. Didn't have it that time. So Nito is coming towards us, thankfully. I'm trying to keep these skeletons down as much as possible. Oh. Huh. Need to heal up. That attack right there, his foot extends, as you can see right there. That's a great way to get in some damage from behind. This attack, just raise your shield. You're gonna get hit, it's gonna hurt. There's that arc attack. There's his foot, and notice if I try to attack, here I'm doing nothing except when his foot pops out of his cloak. Raise shield. I'll go ahead and heal up. Oh, that attack. Aha! Notice I'm doing nothing. You're basically trying, if you don't have a divine weapon... Ouch! I didn't have my shield up that time, so I took a ton of damage. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it. And there's Gravelord Nito. So let's give a hearty jump for joy with a hoorah! You can see all the skeletons over here that would have loved to come kill us. So we can access now the boss bonfire. Go ahead and level up. So we're about 14,000 away. Let's use just one. Okay. Perfect. And now we've got our endurance up to 25. So now I can focus with vitality at a level I'm pretty comfortable with, endurance at a level I'm pretty comfortable with, dexterity, we've hit the first soft cap, resistance, not really necessary, intelligence and faith, if we were going for the bonuses, we could get some of those. For now, I'm going to raise our strength, because one weapon in particular, if we scroll on down here, the Dragon King Great Axe requires 50 strength. The Dragon King Great Axe, if we get to, you need 37, I think was the number. Maybe it's 36. Let's do some quick math. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So 36 plus 18 is going to be high enough. 34 half would be 17, so it's 34. If you use two hands on a weapon, you gain access to half of a bonus. So whatever you have plus half. So, and it will not go above 99. So that's frequently why if you're looking into caps that people recommend, you might come across get your level to 66. That's because once you two hands, you'll gain a bonus of 33 to bring your full bonus or full stat in damage to the maxed out 99. Now, if you want to go to 99, that then means it doesn't matter if you're one-handing or two-handing the weapon, then it's just more about moveset. So that's a good place to be if you're willing to grind out the levels. In this case here, I use the Dragon King Great Axe for soul farming. It's an only use, because in this case, if I'm not really leveling anything else, we're at a pretty comfortable level as far as our thresholds are concerned. We should be able to just play through the rest of the game with the stats the way they are. There's always, little improvements here or there for comfort. If we wanted to, we could soft cap those stats. Like I've mentioned previously, you might want to look up what the soft cap stat levels are. I see a shiny over here, so I'm interested. What's this? Ah, the Paladin set. Cool. So with that, let's go ahead and we'll warp. The next area that we are going to be getting into is we need now to consider the 3 remaining bosses We have to kill the 4 kings down in New Londo. We have to kill Seath the Scaleless in the Grand Archives. And we have to kill the Bed of Chaos down in Lost Izalith. Lost Izalith is usually the last one I recommend doing. Just for the sake of progression. Duke's Archives, or Grand Archives, whatever you want to call them. I think the name might actually change between the Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, I'm not sure. The Archives, I definitely do third in the lineup of 4. Generally, from here on, after this boss, I will do the 4 Kings next. So in order to do the 4 Kings, we need to head back to Firelink Shrine in order to progress down. However, the 4 Kings have a mechanic that if you are unable to traverse the abyss, your character will instantly die. How do you traverse the abyss, you ask? Good question. You actually need to have a special ring equipped for the entirety of the boss fight. If you don't actually equip the ring, even if you unequip the ring during the boss fight, you will instantly die. It's pretty fantastic. Even the arena for the boss fight will kill you. So, in order to go get that, you needed to have picked up the Covenant of Artorias item. I'll go ahead and pull up the menu. If we go over to our key items, the Crest of Artorias. Crest of Artorias we picked up from the blacksmith for 20,000 souls. And incidentally, that's actually where we're headed. So we can warp to the Undead Parish, which is the named bonfire above the above the blacksmith. Now, since we're sitting on 1 free, we're going to go ahead and hold on to it. That is something to pocket.
Oh, I've only heard the embers. Perhaps you could light a long draw.
So we'll go ahead and give him the ember. Pardon me. And we can go ahead. Let's repair. And we'll take off. We don't need the skull lantern anymore. So now we're going to work our way back. If you had not yet picked up the Crest of Artorias, we could have purchased it there from the blacksmith. So back through Darkroot Garden. Bum ba da bum. Okay. So that's all the enemies before this bonfire we opened up previously. There's the door for the Crest of Artorias. First, let's rest. And I am going to rest and then get up. Use 1 humanity. Rest again. Kindle. This will take it to 15. And we will take it to 20. So, now we can use the item and open this doorway. in here, there are very few things that we could pick up. First and foremost, these mostly spectral guys are going to try to kill us. So, you can kill them if you want. They're actually worth some pretty decent souls. And if you can actually get the jump on them like that, it's actually pretty simple. Oh. Uh-oh. Dark Spirit 100%. Oh, I wonder if this is another player that names characters like I do. Ah! Ah! Huh, interesting. He knows I'm there. No. He just doesn't want to come around the bend. Which I get it. So, options are pretty limited here for us. Nope. Well, that's okay. Unfortunately for us, this forest area is a covenant area. We didn't quite get to what I was going to pull off, which is if you're in a situation like myself where you don't actually want to do any PvP through this area, pull them back to the bridge. Boink. Ah, smart. Let's see if he actually walks away. Sometimes they do. Oh, doesn't look like he's going to this time. Ouch. Sorry, guy. I've got stamina. Okay. Here's the giant cat you can talk to.
Is it not so thou fared well to find
And I always get its questions wrong.
for the grave of Sir Artorias?
So,
My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorias art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say.
so I always look up exactly how you're supposed to answer. Because I always interpret how you're supposed to answer wrong. So it says purchase, talk to Elvina, and answer yes to all her questions. Okay, so we're going to say yes.
Well, I command a planet hunter. What dost thou say? Oh, yeah.
We say yes there.
Aye, and now and here. If thou wearest that, if mine senses fend them off, sir, I shall summon others who will. Thou shalt receive the truth, but thou must keep the clan as thy own. Darest not in any attack.
So, there you go. Now that we're members of the Covenant, now we can actually stroll through the area. As you can see, this guy no longer tries to kill us. If you attack them, I'm pretty sure they'll attack back, and you'll be penalized. But at least now, the NPCs of the forest are not trying to kill us. The enemies, on the other hand, not so much. But considering how it gets rid of the NPC types, and it still at least gets rid of the human invasions short of regular invasions. Nope. You're at least not getting the protector invasions. So we'll go over here, just to illustrate what's in the forest. But our next true goal is to get across that bridge we were at earlier. Oops. Stuck in the trees.
I've heard all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now, as there's no time to chat in the midst of fighting. Except there is little in the form of fight and hunt as you only... Don't forget, that's about... Don't worry. Great to have you with us. Don't worry, you'll be hunters with patience.
So this guy right here, I'm pretty sure if you attack him, it counts as, you know, killing off members. So let's do some practice kicks. Because if you kick him, it doesn't actually count as fighting. And 3 good kicks should do it. This is the part where we all go, I don't know how he died. I mean, he fell off the ledge. So, unfortunately, that also looks like it counts as a sin, if you will, which triggers that. So we should have just opted for killing him straight out. He has a pretty interesting ring that allows you to do some proper rolls. But let's see, I've kited far enough this direction. See if I can sprint back. Yep. And circle back up and around. I realize the enemies are still going to be hostile. That's okay. I'm going to go here. We use the save quit trick. Load back into the game world. Hit continue. Remember, everything is now hostile, so everything is going to try to kill us. But we get his ring. Ow. Huh. He could attack us in the midst of the animation. So hug this side wall here. Eventually, Shiva will return. Looks like he didn't. Oh no, he's actually still following us. Apparently he really liked his bodyguard. Although it looks like now he stopped. Okay. What we are interested in is over here. There's a cluster of mushroom people. And the small mushroom people, cute little ones, are friendly-ish. Though they can hurt you. It's the big ones you gotta watch for. They will wreck your day. However, I really want that treasure chest. So, as you can see, one punch can knock you across the room, take a ton of damage. Okay. This door leads to the next boss encounter, but the first time you open the door, it's not gonna immediately start the boss fight, so you're generally safe. The boss fight will only start once you approach the giant sword in the middle. Before we do that, first heal up. If you circle around the grave, this won't trigger the boss fight. But there's a ring over here, the Hornet Ring, that will increase the damage done for critical attacks. Very useful. So let's see what we have as far as options. First off, my equip load is ridiculously high, so we could get some extra defense. That would help. Thrust weapons, if I do my running thrust, technically it would be a counterattack if we hit criticals. This is the ring we just got, the rolling action ring. So it's pretty cool. You know, you actually do a... Not quite. Wonder how heavy I am. Oh no, see, I'm not at the right percentage for that to actually take effect. I'm too heavy in this armor. So let's drop the armor. That puts me at 8. So now I can illustrate properly. Notice that it's a forward roll there. If I equip the ring, now I'm doing flips as opposed to a forward roll. So, pretty cool. I don't know if it covers more distance. Haven't actually tried. But that's how you get that ring. So, all in all, I'm thinking the defense against physical will actually help us more in the long run. Mask of the Child. Dingy Robe, Elite Knights. So we're just a little over 25%. But we're also sitting on a physical defense that's at 221, as opposed to if we used Havels of 171. So I mean, it's all depending on what we're going for here. With Havels, we do get the ability to use the full Elite Knight set. I think. Nope, not quite, because 4 times 31 is actually 120. So we can't quite use that set. So we'll stick with this for now. So, like I said, we're going to approach the center of the room, which will trigger the next boss fight. For this boss fight, it has only a couple basic moves. It's mostly fast. You're going to be fighting a giant wolf with the sword in his mouth. So he's got a couple swipes with the sword he'll do. He mostly will leap around a lot, so you got to work on your camera motions. He has a fast run forward slash. Watch for that. He has a circle spin he'll do with the sword. He usually has 2 spins. If you try to block through it, he will hit you on the second spin, so it's best not to block there. And as far as what's best to do for this fight, it's best to get under him. You want to stay between his legs as much as possible. You're generally safe there. So try to stay underneath the wolf as much as possible, and you should come out on top. Let's go ahead and take on the boss fight. And I'll skip this cutscene. Oop. There's that double swipe I was talking about. I usually use that as an opportunity if you get hit. Oh, I rolled too far. Ah. Sometimes terrain can work to your advantage here. Oh, and now he's hurt, so he'll start staggering. Usually an easy win at that point. So there's Sif. Now we have the Covenant of Artorias Ring, which is all we needed, because if we look at it, traverses the abyss. It's where, like Artorias himself, can traverse the abyss. So that's all we needed from that boss encounter. So let's return to our bonfire. Let's cash in our souls. And like we said, we could go for some strength if we were so interested. The katana we're using does not have scaling on strength, so we will gain 0 damage unless we switch to a different katana, because I think there's one that also scales with strength. I'm going to go ahead and actually start leveling up Vitality. We'll probably try to take that to the soft cap. We're about 6,000 short on souls. Let's pop a soul of the hero. And that'll give us 1 more level up. And we can now work our way back. actually, since we can warp, we don't need to travel. Although traveling is pretty fun in this game. Now that we have the soul, we just need to travel back to, well, that's not travel menu at all. We need to travel back to Fire Lake. And I will probably set up the next area. We'll see if I actually have time to take on the 4 kings or not. Let's rest here. Especially if you warp, always remember to rest at the bonfire you get to, because it doesn't actually count as you having been there until you rest at it. So definitely don't want to make that mistake. The Soul of Sif is a very important soul if you're going for boss weapons. You can get some pretty unique ones. In our case, like I mentioned previously, we've actually accidentally killed off the giant blacksmith, so we can't make any boss weapons. Very sad. So I won't be able to illustrate that on this character. Let's go ahead and send that back up. So in the New Londo ruins, we want to go this way. Right here. But right here in this pot, this enemy corpse will drop the Transient Curse. Transient Curse you will want to go ahead and have on your bar. Transient Curse will allow us to attack the ghosts that will be coming out of nowhere to try and kill us. So I'm going to try and get closer before I actually use it. We'll go ahead and use it now. Because from here on, they start coming. So, and you do want to be making some progress, especially since your Transient Curse is on a timer. You don't want to take longer than is necessary in any part of this. Oh. Okay, so we will continue advancing through the world. As with most of the areas before this, pretty much as long as you proceed cautiously and slowly, you should be fine. But you do want to proceed with caution. We'll just ignore him for now. And notice that we can't actually use the transient curse item again because our timer is still active. So, trying. Ugh. It's definitely one of the more hostile rooms. Ugh. And as you can see, it's pretty easy in that room if you get a little overwhelmed to quickly get surrounded and killed. No matter how many times I've played through Dark Souls 1, that particular room still gives me some trouble. So for this first part, I'm going to throw caution to the wind, as it were. Instead of relying on the transient curse, I'm just going to sprint past the enemies. This is a lot more of a risk-reward strategy. You have to kind of know where you're going first, and you still have points where you could easily get choked. So you gotta watch it. Additionally, as you can now see, all the ghosts are following me. So now I'm progressing up this ladder. All of the ghosts are still going to be after us, but at least now, up on the roof, it seems for now they're leaving us alone. And we can talk to Ingward.
Well, this is a surprise. I know exactly you seek this. The four kings use this key to probe the darker part of the abyss hollow. If you can... I know that, the key.
So now we could purchase transient curses if we needed them from him, as well as the spell to resist the curse. So that's pretty much that NPC's whole purpose. If you're going the Dark Lord route, you'd have to have come here first. So that's pretty much his entire purpose in life. He's now basically done. If you need transient curses, you can buy them from him, but we're just going to go ahead and play the bad guy, as it were.
You are no different.
Sorry, buddy.
Forgive me.
We're going to hope and pray that there's not 50 billion ghosts waiting for us. Oh. There are here, though. And I'm stuck. That's okay, give me some distance. Alright. I can work with that. So we're going to advance over here. Gonna wrap up. Proceed down. And go ahead and push the lever. As it turns out, the seal was basically that they flooded the city. By undoing this seal, we force out all the water, drain it down. So now we've gained access to the lower parts of New Londo's ruins. Let's go ahead and pull this. Okay. Now we've gained access to another critical point. There are a few Dark Wraith enemies here. They're pretty potent if you're uncertain of what you're doing. Got some Drakes here. The Drakes are what I am going to now blitz past, as you can see. Get some stamina. Run up this hill. Come in here. Activate the elevator. The reason we're doing this is this bonfire. Now, this bonfire is now considered a tactical advantage because now we have access to the lower New Londo ruins. This is the bonfire at the base of Darkroot Basin. So we need 3, so that way we can Estus Flask, hopefully, to 20, as well as going human. Because this is going to be the nearest bonfire to taking on the 4 Kings, which is the next of the Great Souls. So we're back up to 20. Let's Let's go ahead and repair. I'm going to use the Soul of Sif, because like we said, I can't actually create boss weapons, so yay for us. And I'm 5,000 short. I have a sneaky suspicion this isn't going to do it. I am 700 short. So I'm actually going to take on and kill the Drake right here before the bridge. Hopefully I kill him at least. Okay. So we can go ahead and get that level up before we continue. Now for the return trip, I am just going to sprint back across and hope for the best. Oops. You do not want to get caught in that. That particular attack hurts a lot. And there are a few more of those guys. That's an invisible shield. Ouch. Thankfully, they also have a decently short range with their thrusting attacks. This isn't a boss room, so you can just enter it. But you do have to be careful once you enter it. You've got a few of these guys that are going to rush. Oh ha ha. Got a giant blob that has a few really nasty attacks. Namely, he spawns those guys. Oops. Ah, again with that shield. Come on. There you go. And those are one-time enemies, so you don't have to worry about that guy coming back. I think there's one more. Yep, there he is. Trying to exploit my range. There we go. In order to progress further, though, we're going to have to go this way. You're going to want to hug the right-hand side because the water is thick. And get up and out. There are at least one, maybe two more of those Dark Wraith enemies. So proceed carefully. Oh, missed my lunge. Ouch. Ugh. I rolled right into him. So as you saw, they're pretty fantastic farming too. I mean, it's a fun enemy. Decent challenge. Can get you killed. Drops Titanite chunks, and I think rarely will drop a Titanite slab. I say rarely. I could be wrong on that. It could be, you know, it's just chunks. I don't remember. I want to say that it's just chunks. But unfortunately my memory is not the best. So there's one more. Boom. Invisible shield. Okay. So that's not the area I was thinking it was. But that's okay. I do know that in order to proceed, we're going to have to enter this room. Got another blobby enemy. We also have one more Dark Wraith hiding. And some ghosts. Oh, we have two Dark Wraiths. Wasn't that lovely? Let's definitely backpedal. Ouch. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's death. That stinks. That was not the water I thought it was. Is that where I want to be going? Yes. Ah, well. C'est la vie, Dark Souls. Just trying to distance the enemies so that I could spread them into one-on-one or at least corridored encounters. And instead found myself walking right off the ledge. Such is Dark Souls life. Okay. Get some stamina back. I'm gonna go risky here. Oops. Okay. Since I'm doing risky, I can't stop. But that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and enter the boss door. Okay. As you can see, I am descending down for quite some ways. And I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Technically, I think there's one more. I can go one more. Now, this is the arena that if you continue off here, you will die. I don't want to showcase that for sake of time. Take my word for it. You'll die. So, we're going to go ahead and equip the Covenant of Artorias. We can't equip or unequip the Ring of Favor and Protection, or it'll break. I shouldn't need this anymore. So, here's the long and the short of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be fighting the Four Kings. The Four Kings is a split enemy with multiple encounters. You will fight one at a time. If you move quickly enough and kill the first before the second one spawns, you don't need to worry about multiple enemies. If you're not able to, congratulations, you have to fight multiple giant things that are trying to kill you at once. It has a couple basic moves. There is a huge arm swipe, like their arms are like swords, so it'll have a huge swipe attack. You can either dodge through it or heal through the damage. It's up to you. Generally, it's best to dodge. They have an AoE blast. Not as frequent. Can get you killed. The most important thing to watch out for is if there's a good distance away. If they're a good distance away from you, they can do a downward swipe, which will have a beam of magic light that will seek you out, and it's a little slow moving, but it's going to do high magic damage. And I honestly don't know exactly how much damage it does in a single hit, so don't get hit by that. So yes, story, the basic strategy here, if you're melee, get on some heavy armor, rush the boss, smash him in the face, hope for the best. So we're sitting at 22 out of 78. I'm going to go ahead. We're just going to go with the Havel strategy. If I can be somewhat... I'm at 58 out of 78. Is that more than 70 something percent is the question. Yeah, I think it's right on that edge. So it might actually be more than... I think it's more than 75%. So let's see about swapping out maybe its helm. That'll put me at 51 of 78. That's a little more iffy. Where's my calculator? It's the one thing about the other two games, or definitely at least the third, you didn't have to actually perform the calculation. It was displayed on the screen for you. So let's see. 51, 7, and 78. Oops. It looks like I'm okay. So, by my calculation, that puts me at 66%. I should still have a medium roll. Reality isn't matching. So, let's go from Havel to Stone on the gauntlets. Oh, it's still too heavy. Havel to Stone on the legs. Closer, but still no cigar. How close? Oh. I'm thinking this incorrectly. I'm not going to see the difference on my roll. I'm thinking about the other rolls. I should be fine. Plus, it's not like I'm actually rolling. Well, okay, that's not true. I would be rolling that one attack. So, we've got our Uchikatana to plus 10. I do need to do some exploration here in a minute, but we're going to do it after we kill the four kings. Because I believe in the New Londo ruins, we actually get the ember, coal, whatever the name of they are. I think it's embers in this, to actually allow us to ascend weapons to plus 15. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead. I will do one attempt here on the boss. Hopefully it'll all go well. So let's drop down into the abyss. It's also unnerving because you really can't see in this arena, so I find myself doing the spin trick to find where the boss is coming, and then sprinting towards it. He'll close the distance. So, notice the Havel strategy, I basically just smacked him a ton. Because you're just relying on the armor to keep you stable. Well, you just wail on him. do like to heal up between each one. Spin. There we go. Oh, there's that beam of light. Oh. I have a feeling like this is gonna hurt. Oh. Not as bad as I thought. Is that beam of light just gonna keep going? Although that grab attack did take a lot of time. There's the fourth king. Go ahead and heal up. Almost there. There we go. Okay. And before we call this one done, let me double check the DS1 New Londo Ruins. Where is that ember actually at? Pardon me. Okay. So it looks like the easiest way to actually get it is to go back from here. So let's get out of the abyss first. That way we can swap off this ring. We'll put on Havel's ring. And look, suddenly we're Havel monsters. With, you know, still our hilariously awesome face. Because we're running 51 out of 117. We're still under 50%. So we could stick with some ultra heavy armor now if we cared. All depends on what you want to run. One huge perk to staying in Havel's armor is that we've got tons of defense. Lots of room for error. Take as little damage as possible. Obvious downside being we now have to dedicate an entire ring just to wear our armor. So, some bosses we wouldn't be able to use this armor set for that. You get a little too comfortable with all that armor. I'm going to go ahead and put back on Transient Curse. Especially considering they're trying to kill me. As you can see, I'm taking far reduced damage. Did I already pass where I thought I was going? Yes, I did. This is an area we previously hadn't gone. Oh, but it just led down here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, vagrant. Come on, I want to fight the vagrant. Don't be like that. Thank you. Is the vagrant still there? No, it left. Ah, that makes me sad. I only got to see it for like a split second on the video. Oh well, at least now I actually got to see one on video. Pretty sure I have to go up. That still somewhat depresses me we didn't get to actually fight it and it ran away. But that's okay. Wrap around. There we go. So now we can return, which will put us back, oh, in the abyss. Thankfully it didn't immediately kill us. I believe it's safe now that we've done that. Still, that's unnerving. Let's go back to Firelink. No. Skip straight to Undead Parish. The whole point of doing this was to get the Ember. So let's go talk to the blacksmith. So now we can finally modify the Uchigatana to go to +11. before we do that, it's going to get 8 bonus in the physical on the base, and 14. So, we're going to pick up 22 just on that one upgrade. And now we can reinforce higher. We're going to pick up 10 on the base and 7, so another 17. Here we're going to pick up 9 on the base and 7 on the bonus, so 16 higher there. And we are 1 Titanite chunk short of being able to do yet another increase on our Uchigatana. So definitely need to keep our eyes peeled for 1 more Titanite chunk. Let's take this off. While we're at it, let's go ahead. Let's reinforce our armor. We can leave it as is for now. But we should be able level up. We need 18,000. That was 14. So we still need 4,100 souls. 4,200. So let's warp. Let's go back to Firelink. For our final action before we close. Oh.
No, I'm fine. Well and wide awake. Do not treat me like an old withering snake. I am busy.
So let's go ahead and see if we can get. That's 3,000. So let's see. Need about 1,200 more, which is real sad because we got a Titanite slab on reserve. So just 1 more chunk and we would have it. Filka's Rapier we could use. Definitely gonna need that. Dragon Tooth is interesting. Let me see if there's anything else in the elevated. Well, we won't need the Eye of Death. That should give it to us. Because we've already killed off Nito instead of joining his covenant. Oops. So let's level up. Get some more HP. So, with that, we've now killed 2 of the 4 Great Souls. We still have to kill Seath the Scaleless and the Bed of Chaos. So next time that we come back, we will press on. We will take on Seath. We hopefully should also have time in the next one to do the Bed of Chaos. And then we can turn in all of the souls to open access to the Kiln of the First Flame. I will cover, if we do all the above there and still have time, I will cover the Kiln of the First Flame, at least as far as, items in the area. There's specifically the Black Knight set in there. That's why I haven't upgraded any armor yet. Armor is sufficient for what we're doing, but the Black Knight set is probably my favorite in this game. So I'll be getting that armor set and upgrading that set. So we'll cover upgrading the armors then, which is no different really from upgrading weapons, but at least that set, that one I don't mind spending the upgrade points on. Also, we will not be killing the final boss inside the Kiln of the First Flame with Lord Gwyn. We will not be doing that because I want to go ahead. Once we get there, I will start doing my coverage of the DLC and how to gain access to it, because it's a little bit of a secret, not quite difficult, especially now that it's like 6 years later or something like that. Maybe a little off on that, but I think it's been about 5-6 years that this game has been out, maybe even longer. So the Remastered is just a re-release with a couple additions. So how to get to the DLC is not exactly a secret at this point, but we'll cover that. We'll cover, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 bosses in the DLC that I can think of off the top of my head. I'll do a complete rundown. We'll showcase those areas before we kill the final boss. So with that being said, we are definitely starting to get towards the end of our play guide. There's probably only about 2-3 more episodes left. So for now, let's go ahead and say our farewells, and we'll see you the next time. So everyone, take care and have fun. Bye.